Hello everyone, my name is Sai Suresh. I'm a part of Group 7. In this presentation, we're going to be discussing our proposal for Team Femur, which is a nonprofit organization that has developed and is distributing a free open source electronic medical record software to be used on medical missions around the globe. So just an introduction, talk about our group members. We have Alex Nakla, who's a computer science major, Ryan Foley, who's an electrical engineering major, Brian Wiley, who's also an electrical engineering major, and myself, I'm a mechanical engineering major. So we've all had some type of experience, whether it be an internship or co-op or even volunteering work with working with software and different data collecting software, and we've kind of have qualifications to discuss how Team Femur can use our proposal for their benefit in the future. So kind of the objectives for this presentation is we're first going to go over the background information on what Team Femur is and what they're trying to do, what their goals are. Then we're going to discuss their problems that they face with how they're currently running their organization. We're also going to discuss possible solutions and deal with our proposal and how these proposals relate back to their solutions. And then we're going to finish off the presentation by talking about how each team member is going to contribute to the process and our tentative schedule in doing so. So what is Team Femur? So Team Femur is a nonprofit organization. It was founded in 2013 with a goal in providing continuity in transient healthcare delivery. So for an example, a medical group that uses the Team Femur software goes on a mission to Peru in 2017, uses their software, and kind of gets data on basically their vitals and things like that, and so they can come back the next year and see how they've progressed. So currently the FEMUR, the Free Electronic Medical Record System, which I discussed before, is open source technology. It provides a system that allows doctors to use electronic medical records in areas with no internet. So a lot of the medical missions where FEMUR is being used is not, obviously there's no internet and there's not as many resources, so this is kind of like something to bridge the gap. So in addition to this, the software is being used currently by dozens of universities. So what Team Femur does is works with a lot of universities that have volunteers that will go on these medical mission trips, and it costs $25 for these universities per day to rent out the Femur software. So this is just kind of an example of what a triage looks like for when these volunteers do go on the mission trips. They kind of take simple data about general info, first name, last name, and kind of their vitals, what their temperature are, blood pressure, if they're a woman, if they're pregnant, and basically try to get some data on what a certain group of, so in the case of if they're going village to village, they can kind of get data on, are there any issues, are there any like common issues between these people, or if they go to places where there are natural disasters and see how they've been affected. Some of the current obstacles they face is slow progression. Everyone working in the organization is currently a volunteer, so it's kind of hard to get more people involved. Not many people want to spend their time if they're not getting paid, obviously. Another issue is that outreach is harder. Software gets patched over and is less coherent, making it harder to keep stable over time. So a lot of improvements to the software can't really occur as fast as they should. Currently, the Team Femur is working only through donations and grants, and it's very minimal. So, and if they want to run as a full-time organization, in order to do this, it's going to cost $1 million to $1.5 million. And this is the cost for employees and full offices, and it'll also help them to develop and grow their software over time. And it's also a struggle for them to keep the Femur software free for public use. So the only way they can actually try to make this $1 million to $1.5 million is try to develop the software for sale. And this is one of the decisions between their two options. So I'm going to pass it off to Alex, and he's going to talk about how Team Femur is trying to make their company financially viable.
Thank you, Sai. So the first of Team Femur's two options is to make a commercial version of their existing software. And their existing software has two strengths that make it ideal in a temporary clinic setup. The first is that the hardware setup itself is pretty simple and minimal. It consists of 3 boxes connected with 2 cords, and to turn the system on and give all the medical team access to the medical records, you just have to turn on a laptop. Secondly, because FEMUR is an electronic medical system, you get all the benefits of electronic medical records. You get quick and easy patient lookup, which means a more streamlined experience for doctors. And it also means that data is being kept with more integrity than if it were kept on pen and paper, which means better healthcare for the patients. Additionally, it means that patient data can be more easily analyzed than if it were on pen and paper. Now, there are two possible clients for a commercial femur software in the United States. The first are urban search and rescue teams, which are overseen by the Federal Emergency Management Association. These are basically natural disaster response teams that give crucial medical care at the site of natural disasters and do not currently use an electronic medical record system on site. The second such possible client is Rock Medicine, which is a nonprofit group that sends medical teams to large concert venues to treat generally minor illnesses and injuries that may occur. The second option for Team Femur is to create 3 organizational branches, one of which would be a for-profit medical analytics branch. Before we look at the analytics branch specifically, let's look at the other 2 branches. So the first branch would be an FEMR software deployment branch. This branch would work with groups such as those previously mentioned to encourage the use of femur software. This means providing training to groups in these organizations on how to use the software, how to set up the hardware. It would also mean making more physical FEMR systems to be rented out. And it would also mean supporting teams who are using the system in the field. These increased amount of femur software deployments might also offer more chances for data collection for the medical analytics branch. The second branch would be an academic or research-based branch. This branch would try to analyze best practices for temporary mobile clinics. The third aforementioned medical analytics branch would use data from femur and from other sources to identify health trends by region, identify resource availability and deficiency by region, and also the cost effectiveness of care that's being delivered. So Team Femur's financial viability has wide-ranging benefits outside of it becoming financially viable. First, if it's a full-time organization, they can have a full-time development team. This means that the software gets improved quicker. Better software can lead to better healthcare, a better experience for doctors, and with more features, gives doctors the tools they need to spend more time with the patients. And thirdly, the data that can be collected by femur can help to predict disease earlier while it can still be treated, and that helps everyone. So our project proposal is focused on deciding between these 2 options, the commercial software version and the medical analytics branch. So in order to decide which option is best, we need to evaluate the costs of both strategies in money, time, and sustainability over a large period. We need to do a risk analysis of both strategies because they'll both have delayed payouts. A lot of code has to be written before either can bring income to the company. And we also have to see which plan will give us more income. Having said this, I'll now pass the mic over to Brian Wiley for him to talk about our group more specifically.